Good morning, everybody. It's Connie, and it is Friday morning. And so today I am making the third card for May that is being sent out to people who order through me. I have a couple of announcements to make, which is really fun. First of all, Stampin' Up! Has announced a free shipping date of May 22nd. And May 22nd is coming up. It's coming up fast. Now, there's a couple of ways you can think about this. My first thought is if there's not very much you want and there's just one or two items, this is a perfect time to get it because you won't pay that crazy, minimum shipping. It's like, I don't know, $11 or something crazy. It's 8.95% or $11 minimum, I think. And so if there's just one item that you want, or maybe there's gobs you want, and you just don't want to pay all that shipping, what a great time to order. And so I just thought I would bring that to your attention because there are some really cool things in here. My favorite thing so far has been the postal dies. They are just incredible, and they're near the back of the catalog. I also love a lot of the embossing folders. So, if there's just one or two things that you want and you're kind of like, I don't want to pay all that shipping, that's the day to do it. And in addition, if you place an order from me using one of the host codes that I have in the featured section here, then you get this card kit from me. And you remember card number 1 was a split of 4 cards that you can make. The second card I made last week with the little dogs with the birthday. And this is card number 3. It's fish, and it's a shaker, and it's a slimline, so that's exciting. Before I go on, though, I just want to mention that close to my heart shipping is they are up to April 29th. So they are making headway. Thank goodness. I know that there were a couple of heavy order days somewhere, in early May, but they are making progress. And so you should be getting your orders very soon. And I'm impatiently waiting for the watermelon set. I have some things I want to do with that. And gosh, it seems like it's taking forever. So I'm ready. Now, in your card kit, you have an envelope like this. And if you take out all your parts and pieces, easy to say, but here we go. You have a little piece of little stamped images that I chose from these sets that I thought you might want to use. I didn't cut them all out because I didn't know what you would use. You have a little pack of shaker, and I'm pulling. You have one of two things. You probably have a full sheet. Make sure I have everything. You probably have a full sheet of shaker and adhesive. I ran out on a couple of them, and so I'm using one where it just comes with strips, but you will have a full slimline shaker of adhesive, and it has the peel off rectangle. If it's too clunky to use as a full rectangle, you can always snip it and use it in parts. And then there's also little squares in there that you can use on other projects. And then you will have a piece of clear acrylic window, which I'm going to set here so I don't lose it because I misplace that all the time. You have several images You have some like grass, seagrass. You have some fish. And I just cut out a whole bunch. That doesn't mean you have to use them all, but I just made gobs, okay, so that you could decide what you wanted to use. So you have a card base, and I'm just going to set that aside for now. And then here's basically the sandwich. So you're going to have a base of Glacier, and I would use the softer side, but you could use the darker side if you want. I think the softer side, the shaker bits show up a little better on it. So your choice. And then you'll have, of course, the window piece and this frame. Now, one of the things that you can do right now, and then you have this glitter piece. One of the things, let's just start by doing the window frame so it can dry while we color. Coloring is not everybody's favorite thing, but some people really enjoy it, and I thought it would be nice to have some coloring this month. Okay, so you can use your adhesive, ATG, you can use your glue, you can use whatever you want, but basically you just want a nice adhesive seal all, around the edges of your window. And so I'm just going around this frame, and I'm going to take that window piece, shake it off. I'm going to try to clean it off a little. Some people put their anti-static tool on it because it's a little bit staticky. My window piece I got a little off, so I'm going to trim the top. I just don't want it poking up is all. All right. And then just push around the edges. Now we have our front, and I'm just going to set that aside. And then let's go ahead and real quick do our background. So I have the light side of Glacier. Now you can do anything you want with this. You can just glue the bubbles on just like that, or you can do what I want to do. And I have some Capri ink. You could use Glacier ink. You could use like a lagoon color. But basically, I'm just going to lightly kind of sponge a little bit of blue in splotches. And no particular location or anything. I just like the idea of it not being all the same, right? See how that has adds a little dimension or something. Now, this is the hardest part of the whole thing, I think, is gluing this crazy thing on. Let me get my glue. I'm going to use liquid glue. What I should have done, and I wish I would have done, is cut this out of with the adhesive sheet, because I really think it would have helped. You don't have to put glue on every single surface of this ring, but it does help to have it at least around the edges. And you can see that they're not cut perfectly, and it won't show with the frame and with your fish. I cut off the edges on some of these and stuff. I got a little sloppy, but I wouldn't give it to you if I thought it was going to make a big difference on your card. So I just want to put a little glue there, a little glue there. All right. So all I'm going to do now is kind of just lay it on, and remember your frame is going to go on top of it. See, like that. So you won't be able to see all those little bits and cuts and things, but I am gonna kind of push it down. And if you get a little glue outside of the ring, just leave it there for now and let it sit and dry while we color. So that gets our gluing out of the way. Look at that. That's what it's gonna look like. It's gonna be cool. Don't put them together yet though, because we need to put the shaker part together. Okay, let's color. And I love all the fish, so I'm definitely gonna use all the fish. And then I'll decide on these little bits. The first thing I'm gonna do, I was gonna stamp this for you, but then I was like, I wanna show you what to do if you don't have the stamp for something like this. I'm just gonna take my green blend, and it doesn't matter which color of green, and I'm just gonna color, like, lightly make it look like grass or seaweed. And the other thing you can do, if you really hate how this looks, you're like, no, this is not good or whatever, you can use your blending brush, and you can use ink and blend it just so it's different looking. Just know that when it's on your card, this does not need to look perfect. It really doesn't. I mean, check that out. That's scribbles. That's like scribble coloring, right? And I just did a couple of pieces. We'll see how that turns out. All right, let me see here. Let me get a drink. All right. I have a bunch of colors here. I have a bunch of bold colors. Let me just show you. You know, like a yellow, orange, pink, red, blue, and then some browns in case I use the little sign or the little pirate ship up here. So there's just some options, right? Okay, so I think I'm going to start with yellow and orange. And you can, you know, I got out my trusty sheet here, and I chose the citrus yellow. So I like the boldest yellow on the citrus blend. And I think I'm going to do this fish. Now, again, this is a birthday card. And so this is orange blend. So I'm going to use the lightest one to start with. If you spend gobs and gobs of time coloring, that's up to you, but just know that a lot of people do not keep birthday cards from year to year. Or if you don't want to use it as birthday or whatever, I mean, you know, like some people keep every card and some people toss them. And I'm just like, you know, I don't want to spend gobs and gobs of time coloring something that people won't keep, but I do want it to look nice. So there's my little yellow and orange fish. This one, what did I grab? Red, pink. Let's do pink. And these are the shades, which are the darker colors. So I'll just start with the middle of the shades, and I'm going to just do a few triangles here. You could go a little crazy and do like, you know, every other, like a harlequin, you know. Let's see. What's everybody got planned today? We have house repairs to do. You remember when we had our When we had our water leak, our water break, we had problems with the drywall. We had to remove a bunch of drywall. And so we are having a drywall guy come out and give us an estimate today. We'll see how that works. But we have a couple of other places where I'd like him to repair some drywall for us in addition. What do I want to do with that? Do I want to do a bold pink? I'm just outlining with the boldest color. Sometimes that really helps. Oh, like that. I think I'll use more of the light. Oh yeah, nice. Okay. Okay, there's that fish. He's pink. How about a big blue turquoise fish? Now, I chose the blue turquoise because I don't use it very often. And this shade one is so dark. So I'm going to make him, you know, darker, but I'm going to start with the blends and do some lighter color first. Remember, my background is blue, so I don't want it to just blend in, right? So I'm using this lighter shade to start, and then I'm going to the super dark. Let's see, of this shades, I'm going to use the lightest shade first and just kind of, I really love this color. I just don't use it very often. Use what you have to color with. If you have, you know, watercolor pencils, or you have regular markers, or, you know, whatever you've got, it's going to look great. One day, Jen and I were making cards, and we just got out coloring crayons. I found a box of crayons that I, initially when I bought this house, I thought, I'm gonna rent it out or something, you know, like I could rent it out. I could have kids staying here. Who knows what, you know, I'm gonna do with it. And then I bought a bunch of puzzles and things to keep here in the house. And one of the things I had was a box of crayons, and so I put them over here. I love that fish, and I think he'll show up just fine against here, so that's cool. I think I'm gonna give him some lips. Like lipstick. Oh, and while I have this blue shade out, I probably should do the bubbles. Cool. All right, there's those. And then seahorse. I think I'm gonna make my seahorse red. Should I do pink? How about red and orange? So I will put his stomach red. You're probably like, whoa, I don't know if seahorses that are this color. But it's kind of fun to, I mean, color with all these bold colors and not be, you know, not everything has to be like beautiful all the time. Like some of this is just playful and fun. And I hope you guys like these cards that I'm making. So this month I decided to send retired stamp sets and just some fun cards to make that, I want that boulder. Just something fun to do that you wouldn't normally do yourself. I think that this is this qualifies as a card that not most people would just pull out to make for any day. And I like the idea of having these card kits be ones that are usable, but different from what you might make on your own. Because if you're like me, you know, sometimes you just have to kind of stretch your imagination a little bit, because I'm bad about, I'm gonna make this little guy green. I'm bad about breaking out of my box. This green is boring. Oh, I need a bright green. Ugh. Let me grab another green. Let's see. How about citrus green? And let's try that. Of course, this on top of it, it'll probably look a little mossy, but that's okay. Oh, look at him. He's cute. And then I'll use the darkest shade. Maybe I need to invest in bright colors of markers if I buy any more markers. Like my yellows, I'm not completely 100% sold on the yellows in the Spectrum Noir. They have this light yellow and citrus yellow that are very similar, and they're great, but I want like a bolder yellow, like a in-your-face yellow. And see, that's pretty close. I don't know. But I also love this gold yellow. I just think they could have, there's other yellows I feel like I need. I miss them. All right, real quick, I got some browns, and I thought maybe I want to do a couple of little things on here. I think I might do one little lobster. And I'm just gonna color him in red. I guess this isn't a lobster, it's a crab of some kind, a crab. I should know my creatures if I'm gonna send them out. Okay, so there's one. I really like him, he's cute. And then I think I want to do a little bit, this is the gold brown shade, and shades are dark, but I want to do a sandcastle. I guess I don't have to outline and be all careful if I'm just going to color the whole thing. So I'm kind of curious what everybody's gonna order. I'm gonna use the darker shade then for these inside areas. When I wasn't gonna place another order this month, because as you know, I spent a fortune already, but I love that. There's a couple of things that I've had my eye on that are kind of, I don't want to spend another, you know, hundreds of dollars to offset shipping or whatever that in my head is too high. So this free shipping day I think I'm going to go for those circle dies that are concentric. What other brown did I grab? I grabbed the earth brown. And I like the idea of, yeah, I like that. I don't think I need the treasure chest. And I'm just going to use this real light turquoise blend. Around the edges of the sign. Anyway, I could use a little more of the wood grain paper. I could use those concentric circle dies. And what do I want on there? I love this swimming by to say. Now, you can put this in the hands of a fish like that. The other thing is if you draw, this is weird, but if you draw little hands on each side, it looks like they're holding it. So if I put like a little circle here and a little circle here, and I put it on a fish, it looks like they're holding the sign. Do you see that? And so whatever fish you have that's going to be holding the sign, you just have to color the hands that color, right? Anyway, okay. So I'm going to use this Thinking of You, and I'm going to cut it really tight. So that I can put it on the sign like that. It slid, it's sliding. Hold on a minute. Got to get that together. And then I'm just gonna kind of make it look like it's part of it. And it looks great, okay? It does. I'm going to go ahead and put these nail dots back on. Okay, so there's that Thinking of You, and I'm going to put this on the inside. Hi, Sally. I know, right? The shipping thing. It's a little dangerous because I already placed an order. You already placed an order. You get what I mean? But free shipping is hard to pass up, especially when sometimes I just want one thing or two things. I don't want gobs of stuff. And gosh, sometimes that free shipping is really nice for stuff like that. So, and you know, I have a couple of host codes I posted so that if you are going to place a smallish order or whatever, you just use one of those, because I am drawing for hostess rewards and they end at the end of May. So you have to decide what you want. If I draw your name, you don't have a lot of time to decide. But, you know, hey, free stuff is free stuff. I love this little, I think I decided he's a crab. This little crab. So when I made the cards this month, I was kind of like, oh, I want to do a shaker. And then I was like, oh my gosh, shipping, do I have everything I need? And I was like shocked how much I have. I have everything. I have enough to share. I have enough to share. I think I'm going to use this little fish for the swimming by to say, and you know, you could put your swimming by to say, you're officially awesome. You could put that on the inside. Thanks. You know, you can put anything on the sign, or you can just put that on the inside. You can use these images to decorate the inside of your card. Whatever you want. But anyway, let me find my pink. All right, I'm going to put his little hands. And I kind of do want this white because everything else is color, even the background of the card. And I want that to stand out. All right, we are ready to put our card together. So this is what it's going to look like, right? And on the outside of the card, just laying it here, you can, some things you want inside, and like this grass, you might want some of it. I might want this on the interior of the card, right? Like that. And, you know, maybe I want one thing on the inside. Maybe I want to do that on the inside of the card. So I'm going to set those things aside. You could cut out the little, I might cut out the little treasure chest and do that too. I mean, really, I have time. And it's going to be adorable. Let's see. I had a fish tank when I was little. Actually, I had a fish tank when I was first married. I was really into fish. We had a lot of fish. And then, does everybody do that at least once in their life? Go through having like fish in their house? All I can remember, honestly, when I was growing up, was that everything is such a hassle to clean it. It was so nice to look at them every day. And on the other hand, it was like, oh my God, I hate cleaning these things. I'm going to use a bright orange just to make that stand out. And bubbles. Do I want to fussy cut those dang bubbles? I don't know. Just in case, I'm going to color those. Okay, now the other trick that I told you is if you are gonna fussy cut an image and it has a lot of white, you can draw a color around it, and then when you fussy cut it out, you know, you can get pretty close to the line. But it'll still look like kind of the color of your background. And you won't have that big white halo around it. So that's a trick if you are bothered by fussy cutting, right? So I'm gonna put these on the inside. I'm gonna go ahead and glue these down. And I'm using quite a bit of glue because I really want it to kind of seal so my sequins don't get hung up behind the images, if that makes sense. Like, you know, when you pour this pack of sequins in, it's awful to have your sequins get stuck behind. The other thing you can do, you could put a little tiny piece of foam tape in there, but remember, you know, this it's only so thick inside of there. So when I put stuff inside the shaker, I just make sure everything is glued down well. All right, so if I'm gonna kind of hold this up so I can see what it's gonna look like, I want this one on the outside for sure, right? And then I have this giant blue fish. I could put it on the outside. I could put them all on the outside, but I don't think I want to. I think I'm gonna put this little guy on the inside. And again, I'm using liquid glue, but you could use any glue. You just need to adhere it good. Are you going to a garden center, Sally? That would be fun. We are, since we're doing all this house stuff, it's we're hanging around the house today, and we have a couple errands we have to do, but mostly house stuff. Push that little guy down. I really like this. All right, now I'm just holding this in place so I can see where I want to put the stuff on the outside. And I do want this big, I would like this big fish, and I'm going to put him on the outside. This is the opportunity also, if you do have any, you know, bubbles that you don't like, the way they're cut, or they're not your style, or, you know, there's an edge showing or whatever, this is your opportunity to, you know, cover that up, to cover up that cut edge, you know, use your fish to hide the imperfections. I'm going to put him here. Okay. And then while I have this guy out here, I'm going to go ahead and attach the sign to him like that, because it's annoying me that it keeps moving around. And I'll put these on, I'll put this on later. Oh, maybe I'm ready. Yeah, I think I am. Okay. Let's go ahead and, you could use tape runner for this too. You don't have to use liquid glue like me. I use a lot of liquid glue, but all right. There's my cover. There's my inside. The other thing that you can do if you want to add even more is you can take your marker and you can do the bubble thing with the fish. And even your fish on the outside, you could add some bubbles. Like that. And the other thing that if you really want them to stand out, you could take your black pen and draw around your bubbles. Might be a little much. You might be going, you're crazy. But it does change the look. I'm going to show that to you a little bit. Okay, now I'm ready to put this thing together. So the first thing I'm going to do is I want to get my adhesive strips. Now, you probably have the whole frame, and this is where you're going to put the frame on. I'm using these fat strips, and I'm basically going all around the outside edge of this card. Now you could do it on the frame if you feel better doing it, you know, using the frame. I'm just gonna peel that off. And I'm just gonna, I have to make sure it's completely full. Like no gaps, no gaps. So the gap is an issue. Like up here, you don't, even that little piece like that, your sequins will leak out. It will not be good. So make sure that you fill in the space. And I like making shakers. It's really fun to use at like the clear packaging. I gotta turn this where I can see. Use the clear packaging from your, you know, purchases and stuff, and just make it an all over shaker. It's so much easier than this. But how often do you make shaker cards, right? This is a cool card, and you know, I wanted to give you all the parts and pieces to be able to do this on your own if you wanted to. Now, this is where you have to be careful. I'm going to go ahead and remove all of the tape, because what happens to me if I dump the shaker stuff in first and then I remove the tape, it's so staticky that it jumps onto my adhesive and it's annoying. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to do it this way instead. And then you still have to be careful that you don't get it on your adhesive. But, all right, peeling all this backing off of my sticky foam, and it's sticky now, so be careful. And then I'm going to use this whole bag, so I'm just going to cut it instead of trying to fiddle with opening it. And I'm just going to dump it in the center like that. And I'm going to spread it out just a little bit, just so it doesn't like make a big hill in the middle. And then I'm going to start with the bottom, and I'm just going to line up the two sides and the bottom at the same time. And I'm going to start sticking that down. There we go. All right, all the way around, all the way around, all the way around. Now, when I did mine, I have a little bit of adhesive showing at the top. That is easily rectified. There's my bottom. And look, isn't that fun? Oh my gosh, so it can all go to the bottom, or you can shake it up to the top, and look, it looks like bubbles. Gosh, I love that. So whenever I have this, I usually take my craft knife and cut it, but you can use scissors if you've got like a heavy duty scissor that'll cut through all those layers, because you basically just want to get it so, you know, your person is not sticking their fingers to the edges of your tape, right? There we go. Ta-da! Isn't it cute? Look, swimming by to say. And now we need to adhere it to the front of our card and fix the inside of our card. So it'll be like this. And I could have made the card base this color, the glacier color, and just made it open. But I like the idea of using my slimline stash. How many of you have a stash of stuff for slimline? And you're not making nearly as much as you thought you would, right? It's hard to remember to do it. It's just not something that I automatically think of when I make a card, because it's just not standard, you know. It's so easy to grab a standard card. All right, I'm just decorating the inside. Now, the other thing you could have done is, you know, taking your blending brush and doing this before you glue all the parts on. But adding that little bit of blue to the inside does make it look like water. It's so cool. And then I have this little crab. All right. So I noticed in the Stampin' Up! Catalog, they have a little fish set, kind of, you know, kind of like this. But I have these from Close to My Heart already, and there's so many cool little things on here. I could have stamped the little coral. I mean, just look at the fish tank you can build with all of these little pieces. So if you have this set, this was a stamp of the month, a lot of you have it, grab it and, you know, add to it if you want. Now, again, here I am, I can, remember the alcohol markers will kind of bleed through your cardstock, so it may show on the back of your card a little bit. So if you don't like that, don't do it. Oh, this is too fun. Oh, I love it. Okay, so you can use your liquid glue. I often do that. Or you can use your like ATG or your tape. You just want something kind of strong, because this is going to get a little bit of movement, because people are going to be shaking it, right? So you just want to make sure that you're securing it well. And I'm just going to lay it just like that. And push this down. Ta-da, ta-da, ta-da. Look at how fun that card is. So for people who order during this month, and even if you do the free shipping deal, whatever, I will send you the 3 card kits. The first card kit, remember, is the flowers that you cut into fourths and make 4 cards. The second card kit is the little birthday dog. Let me grab him and show you. The little birthday dog set. And the second, and then the third one will be the fish. Remember, this was the first one where you'll cut your pieces apart and make 4 cards. So you'll have 3 card kits. I've been showing them every Friday, and you'll end up with 3 really special, actually 4, 5, 6 really special cards. And look how fun that is. This could say birthday fishes. See the little birthday fishes? And you could just write in happy birthday. I love, these are those bluebell sequins, which, my gosh, they have been on that sale, on the clearance sale the whole time. And I just keep buying more and more. Every time I place an order with Close to My Heart with their sellout sale, I've been adding on another pack of these, because look at the color. They're perfect for water. If you're going to make any water cards at all, even if you just use the sequins to dot on the surface as a decoration, the color is perfect. I love it. I love it. I hope you guys love it too. Have a great afternoon. And I posted a few cards that I made that are gonna, as a scheduled pop-up the next couple of days. I hope you love them. And, you know, give me feedback. What would you like to see? Thanks a lot, everybody.